Hi there, it's Jenny from Ads Uncorked, and we help business owners grow their email lists, sell their product, and sell their services through Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, today I'm super excited to show you guys around Facebook Ads Manager. If you're not in it frequently, you'll notice that it probably looks really different from the last time you were here. They're constantly making updates and changes, but I'm going to show you around and show you how we maneuver Facebook Ads Manager, as well as how we can determine what our return on our ad spend is. Because at the end of the day, if we don't know what the return is on the money we've put into our ads, we're potentially wasting a lot of money. And as business owners, that's something that just can't happen, right? We can't just throw money out the door and hope it works or be okay with clicks. Like, clicks are great, but like, how much money is actually coming into our business? So anyway, let's dive right on in. So over here on the left-hand side, you'll see a button that says Ads Manager. This might be because I use it so frequently that it pops up here. If yours by chance isn't here, head on over to the right-hand side, drop this on down, and in the menu, you should see an Add button. If you click on this, it will bring up Ads Manager for you. It may even have you create an ad account if you haven't already, but after you connect your page and your payment method, then you should be good to go. Now, let's go ahead and jump into one of my client accounts to show you guys around. All right, so here we are within Ads Manager, and I've got my client's permission to show you guys around within their account. Now, the first thing I want to show you is we've got 3 different important tabs up here that we should be keeping tabs on: Campaign, Ad Set, and Ad. Campaign is where all of our campaigns live. Ad Set, that's where we're setting our budget, our audiences, how long the ads are running. And then this Ad tab, this is where we actually go ahead and create the ad, whether it's a video ad, single image ad, a carousel, etc. So this is kind of briefly what we're looking at here. And then if we drop on to all tools, we drop down to all tools, you'll see that there are a bunch of different options here. We have setting up Events Manager. So this is where you actually set up your events. We can create audiences within here. There are a lot of different options, but again, today, super basic overview of what we're looking at. I'm going to show you guys super quickly how it is that we go ahead and maneuver through campaign, ad set, and ad level. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. Then here at the campaign level, we've got 3 different types of campaign. We can either create an awareness, consideration, or conversion. To be honest, I spend most of my time within the conversion. So this is where we're actually pushing sales or getting people to sign up for an email list, but there is definitely a time and place for awareness and consideration. And here we can be working on engagement, like getting page likes, or we can work on lead generation. We can also work on getting people to view our videos, or if it's a blog post, if we're looking to send traffic places, you can see that there are all different types here. And if you hover over this, it will actually let you know why you might want to select one of these different types of campaigns. Now, within the conversion campaign, let's say I was doing conversion, for example, it'll prompt us to go ahead and name our campaign. Scrolling on down, these are pretty advanced topics, things like A/B testing and whatnot. Again, I'm giving you a brief overview before we dive into how to determine your return. So I'm just showing you guys briefly here. So this is the campaign level. Now at the ad set level, this is where we actually go ahead and select our audience targeting. So you can name your ad set something. You're setting up your pixel and your conversion event. In future tutorials, we'll dive into what the pixel is and how to get it on your site, especially with all of new iOS 14 updates. Stay tuned. I've got a lot of good information coming your way in the future. We're just hitting the surface here today, though. Now, here's where we set our budget, our start date, end date, audience. This is who we are targeting. And then if we click next, or if you just tap this button here, this is where we are for ad creation. This is where it happens. So we go ahead, we can do, again, carousel, single image, video, etc. You type in your text that you want, your headline that you want, and then you can always toggle it on to see a preview, which is really cool. So anyway, this is just, again, your basic overview of Facebook Ads Manager, what we're looking at. You click publish and you are good to go. I'm going to actually discard this because this is just a draft. And there we go, we'll click discard. And now what I'm going to do, though, is show you guys how you can determine exactly what your return on your ad spend is. So within Ads Manager here, we've got all of these different columns that they automatically give us. Now, What if you want to determine exactly how much money you're making, or how many email signups you had, or how many people signed up for your webinar? That's where you're going to want to set up custom columns down here at the bottom. Now, within custom columns, you'll see a bunch of different options pop up, and you get to select literally every single thing that you want to see. You can tell Facebook that right here. So let's say you wanted to know how many people engaged with your post, or how many people, did any sort of action. All of these are here. There are hundreds of options, so I'm obviously not going to go through all of them, but I want to show you ones that are most important and ones that I'm using often. So for many of my clients who are selling a product, we oftentimes want to know how many purchases there were. So we can click on purchase. We can click on value. We can also click on purchase ROAS, return on ad spend. This is really big, and this is a metric that many people don't quite understand. What this simply means is how much money, how many times back did you make your money? Did that make sense? I'm not sure if that quite did. Let me try that again. What your return on ad spend is let's say you spent $50 on your ads. If your return on ad spend was a 2 times return, then that means you made $100. That's awesome. You spent 50, you made 100. That's great. That's what this metric will show you, your return on your ad spend. Now I'm going to take you into our custom reporting columns. So when you jump into Ads Manager, you'll see that we have a bunch of different options here for like seeing pre-populated metrics, if you will. But if there are specific things you want to know, like how many people signed up for your webinar, how many people ended up making a purchase, how many people, or what your return was, how much money you made from an ad, that's where we're going to want to set up down here our customized columns. So go ahead and click on that. And you'll see here there are a bunch of pre-populated options here, and actually they're over on the right-hand side as well. So these are ones that Facebook is just auto-populating in here. We can actually drag these, shuffle them around. There might be ones here that are valuable to you. There might be ones that aren't as valuable, but there are definitely going to be some extra ones that you want to add in here. So typically I'm hanging out a lot in the conversions area, standard events, and there sometimes will be custom events over here. And this is where a lot of the valuable metrics live. So for my client who's selling a product, I want to know how many people added to cart. Let's see, I also want to know for them how many people purchased. I might also want to know my purchase ROAS. That means my return on ad spend, AKA how much money I made. That's super, super, super important. It's the most important thing to some degree, right? Like, of course, there is importance in not just making money within our business and serving our audiences, but at the end of the day, if we are putting money behind ads, we're typically looking and seeking for a return. So this is where we can determine exactly what our return is. Another one that I like to do is purchase conversion value. This tells me the money that came back. So anyway, you guys can see this now over here. As I was adding them, they actually were just kind of being tacked on at the bottom here. I'm going to unclick the second one. So it's basically saying like if there were conversions that were happening off of the platform, that those would measure there. Anyway, I don't need my metrics there twice, so I'm just going to click once. And for this client, we're not running too many videos, so I'm going to get rid of those. And let's say you don't need to know. You guys can just decide. There are a lot of metrics here, and you don't need to know all of them. So anyway, what we're going to do is we can just go ahead and X out of any that you might not care too much about. And then this is where I want you to go ahead and title it reporting or metrics or whatever it is. Go ahead, title it here. And then you click save as a preset and click apply. All right, and now what we can do after we went ahead and created those custom columns is drop this on down and then click on reporting, and boom, you'll see all of your metrics that you selected pop up here, which is so, so exciting because we can see exactly how many purchases have come in, exactly what my client's return was, and exactly how much money they made from these ads. This is just a view from the last 7 days, but you can get a really good idea here of any metrics you want to see will populate here. Now, your next question might be, okay, well, what if I don't have purchases set up? What if I don't have website ads to cart set up? What if I don't have my tracking set up properly to track my webinar signups? Don't worry, that's coming. I promise you. I'm going to send out a tutorial to you tomorrow, diving into this a bit more, where we can go ahead and see through the Pixel how we set up these. There was a change that happened earlier this year in which the Pixel is no longer enough. We have to do a little bit more tracking, just a little bit. I promise it's not too scary. I'm here to walk you through it, but wanted to show you guys, and maybe with this tutorial for today. Stay tuned for your next email, which will dive into setting up those custom events so that we can select these most important ones. And that will be coming to you tomorrow.